right, this will be fun for you. Ready? Okay, what do you got? What do you want? Top to bottom.
All of them.
Is it Mateo Epidura? Shibola.
Miles Ridley.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
Eric Peck.
AP. I call him AP.
AP. Nice. Colton Crowdis.
Yeah.
You're in a crowd. Is it Sammy Orez?
Urats.
So
Urats.
My ass?
Urats.
Okay, gotcha. Van Gogh Luck God?
No. The new vote. I didn't even hear.
No. Agbelis, not Agbelis. Agbelis.
Like the country.
Vic Razzo, the head coach for Ridley, getting his Coach of the Year award. It's another first place versus second place competition here. Semifinal number 2, Houghton Prep, second in the West, just took down the defending champions, Royal Crown. Now it is Ridley College, first place in the West, taking on Crestwood Prep, second in the East. It's an absolute great day of basketball. What a game that was. Looking forward to this one as well. J.J. Evison still alongside Sydney Holmes and Aaron Sanders here for the second of 2 semifinal matches. We got a full slate tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in on OSBA TV on YouTube as we get a look at our starting lineup. Sid, I want to start with you. What do you think is going to be the telltale sign for the first 10 minutes from Ridley, that they're in it and they're going to go play all 40 minutes to book their ticket to the final?
We need to see Callum Smith become more effective down low. The last game that I saw from him was actually with William Academy, one of the games of the week. And obviously, we know that the Roberts combo is always hitting on offense. But what they were lacking was the ability to have a solid presence down low. He needed to grab more offensive and defensive boards than what he was doing. And he also needs to execute on his post move. So I think if he's able to do that going into this game, they're going to come out swinging.
And Aaron, you were on hand for the first game of the season for Ridley College on their home court against this very Crestwood squad. How do you see each team growing through the season, and what are you expecting from Crestwood today?
Well, so far in the season, I saw Crestwood becoming more confident with their ball movement, especially around in the mid-range. They have to share the ball more. And for Ridley, and we saw them in the quarterfinal matchup just a few nights ago, they have to dump it down low to their bigs, because you can't rely on a guard like C.J. Roberts or even Caleb Roberts to take it in all the time. So you have to be aware of the bigs if you're Ridley. If you're Crestwood, share the ball more. That's going to get you to the bucket faster and smoother.
Coach of the Year might not be the final goal for Vic Razzo. He just came off a CEBL championship as the Sports Person of the Year in Niagara. Just won that award not too long ago. Gets his Coach of the Year award. But every time I speak to him, it's all about getting his players better and competing for a championship. I talked to him recently about Caleb Roberts and the snub for the All-Canadian Games and what that kind of did to him. And he said it doesn't really affect Caleb Roberts. He's just a guy who wants to win, who wants to put his teammates in a position to win. And that's exactly what he expects from him in this playoffs, regardless of MVP conversation or individual awards. Roberts named to the first team All-Star. His teammates Quinton Ethier and Griffin Collinson named to the third team All-Stars. For Crestwood, 2 second team All-Stars, Chris Shibola and Manuk Lok. Tip-off knocked out of bounds. Your officials for this contest are Christopher Bucella, Caleb Chua, and Dan Esty. We are underway. Semifinal number 2 here from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. Thanks for tuning in. Crestwood get the first look on the offensive side. Miles Dehaney in the starting 5 alongside Chris Shibola, Manuk Lok, Lana Agbeliz, and Ben Van Pulk. Backside lob, Lok stepped out of bounds before the drop-off to Ben Van Pulk. Countering for Ridley in the starting 5, Demir Ostaprak, Griffin Collinson, Quinton Ethier, Caleb Roberts, and Callum Smith, the big number 24, who Sid was talking off the top about needing to see a little more from. Really interested in how Miles Dehaney is going to guard Caleb Roberts for an entire 40 minutes. We've got to assume he's going to play all 40. Good first look, nice step through, patience under the basket, big finish, Callum Smith.
And we saw that a couple of times back on Tuesday, his ability just to put the ball up in the air and just maneuver and go on the other side for the first 2 of the night.
Faked on the near side of the rim, took 2 steps, was on the other side with no one contesting. Easy finish with the left hand. He's really slimmed down since the summer. When I saw him play for Team Ontario, Dehaney drops to the deck. Quinton Ethier steals it. Out in transition, going to slow it down. Roberts thought about it, pulls it back out. Caleb Roberts, 23 points, 9 boards, and nearly 5 assists, averaging this season in the OSBA on 44, 39, 75 slashes. Right in the lane, looks for himself again. That one overcooked for Callum Smith. 2 great looks on 2 great offensive possessions for Ridley. They're up 2. Lope working on Ostaprak. Elevates, gets the floater to 2. Tough bucket.
Great size up from Ostaprak, but it was just a little too much as we saw Manuk Lok get a nice look.
Roberts over the timeline. Ethier sets the screen. The handoff. Collinson He can shoot it from 3. It's shooting practice, back iron, Shibola. Gonna slow up on the right-hand side. Pulls up, shots up, no. Rebound Collinson. Caleb Roberts working on Dehaney. Loses the handle, gets it right back. 14 on the shot clock. Smith there. Has a lane, decides not to take it. Gives it back to Roberts. Feet set, shot is up. Tickles the twine. Roberts for 3.
Bit of a slow burn here for Ridley offensively. It seems like they're really particular with the shot selections that they have, and it's working out for them. You see a slight 3-point lead there just off of the shot there from Roberts, but I'm interested to see if this is like a play style we should expect from them for the entire game, or if they're kind of just feeling out Crestwood a little bit.
Agbelee on the outstretched arm, doesn't get it to go. Quinton Ethier ahead of the pack. Caleb Roberts calculated. Ostaprak wide open. Back iron. Who's got position? Smith does. Keeps it alive. 2 white jerseys fighting for it. Quinton Ethier not afraid to shoot as well. Anybody want to guard Caleb Roberts? It's a rare miss for him on an open look. Out of bounds, last touch by Quinton Ethier. Ridley College shooting 43% from the field, 50% from the painted area, 34% from deep. Take 80% of their possessions in the half court, 20 in transition, and they get points 51% of the time when on the run. Here's Shibola. Gets by the primary defender, gets Ostaprak in the air, and Ostaprak commits the first foul of the game. Shibola going 19.6 points per game to go with 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Shooting 74% from the line this year. Very much a clutch player. In the last 4 seconds of the shot clock, he's scoring 50% of the time.
What a well-efficient player that he turned out to be at the end of the season. Second All-Star member.
2 fouls in the matter of 4 seconds for Demir Ostaprak. Credit Loke for tracking down that loose ball, and in comes the younger of the Ethier brothers, Carter Ethier, number 0 in white.
This is a good opportunity for Crestwood to work on their ball movement. The more passes you could get down, the faster you'll be able to slow down Ridley's defense.
I also think, too, Ridley has a tendency to maybe fall a little bit too much into a centralized man position, which I think you can't take for granted, especially against Crestwood, when they do have some shooters that are pretty proficient at the mid-range game. So I'm interested to see if they're able to kind of capitalize that on this defensive play here.
Shibola working with Van Bulk on the far side. Turned away. Here's Dehaney. Picked up by Roberts. Dehaney gets the first step. Floater's good over Roberts and Smith.
And you've noticed in Crestwood's first couple of shots, it all has gone down in the mid-range. And when you're able to get a player open like Dehaney to go down low, that could cause some trouble. He has speed, and he can finish strong, too.
Agbelee read that perfectly. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Smith. Quinton Ethier and Caleb Roberts all competed together for the 17U Team Ontario that won gold at York University in the Canadian National Championships last August. A lot of chemistry there brought over. They've been playing together for quite some time. Starting to show here. They've got, some more time together as well. Top side 3. Dehaney, no. Carter Ethier with the rebound. Elton on transition. Bounce pass, Collinson, toe on the line, deep 2, down and out. Carter Ethier with another rebound. This time on the offensive glass. Caleb Roberts, 8 on the shot clock. Quinton Ethier, Collinson wants it. Dehaney getting too physical.
It's one thing to get physical, but you have to understand it's a mismatch all the time. Whether you're going to get your hand caught in the cookie jar or you're going to have to take the brunt of that drive to the basket. So not a good decision from Miles Dehaney.
I think next time he maybe just needs to be a little bit more vocal on the possibility of a switch before his defender has the ball.
Ethier could hit those. CJ Roberts checks in, the younger brother of Caleb Roberts. Kick ball. Dehaney got a toe on that. Second chance opportunities coming on a couple of possessions here for the Tigers early in the contest. Almost halfway through the opening frame. We're knotted at 5. Caleb Roberts working on the far side. Ethier, feet set. Shot is up and good. Broke late on the contest.
And this is exactly how their meeting back on November 5th went. A close game, and then Ridley getting an extra pass down on the wing, and that's what cost Crestwood. But remember, it's been a long time since these two teams met early in the season.
Chibola blocked by C.J. Roberts. There's 4 white jerseys in the front court. C.J. Roberts makes it a 5-on-4. Low pass for Caleb. One dribble to the left. No. Callum Smith gets the rebound. Goes right back up with it. 2 more points. Callum Smith feels like he's poised to have a double-double impactful game, right, Sid?
Well, I've been saying the last time we saw him, he was just playing completely out of sorts for his typical play style that I'm used to seeing. And it's nice that he's finally back to being aggressive. And in a must-win game, it's honestly needed.
Lana Agbeliz drains the 3. Dehaney with an assist on that one. Got a fluid motion there from Agbeliz on the catch and shoot. Carter Ethier stepping out of bounds. Sammy Uraz pushes him towards the sideline.
And that could be the way to stop Ridley. Force them right into the side, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to stay centralized. They're going to try to cut in a little bit narrowly on the left or the right elbows. But if you space them out to the point where they can't get a nice dribble drive, that's where you apply the double team and look for another fast break opportunity.
Colton Crowdis into the game alongside Eric Peck for Crestwood. Peck stepping out of bounds, and that sideline's been trouble all day. Even for Ridley, Daniel Meisner replaces Callum Smith.
We have to give credit to both teams for applying pressure right on the sidelines. It's like a tightrope act, but no team has won that yet.
Jackson Baker also in for Vic Razzo's Ridley squad. Carter Ethier. That pass intended for Baker, tipped out of bounds by Dehaney. So a pair of class of 2027s on the court, and C.J. Roberts and Jackson Baker for Vic Razzo's squad. Up 2, 3:45 left in the opening 10. Quinton Ethier, rock to the deck, kicks it far side. C.J. Roberts. Just an unbelievable athlete. Gets downhill. Foul's going to be called on the floor.
And that's going to go on Crowdis, interestingly enough.
For a second there, it looked like it was going to be on Rask, but that's not going to be the case.
Ethier touched it last. Knocked out of bounds. Good job by Crowdis to make up for that foul and turnover. Staying close to his assignment. Uraz to trigger. Here's Dehaney. Picked up by Baker. Loke sets the screen. Dehaney kicks it up. Uraz well beyond the arc. Give it to Loke. Loke working on Meisner. Works left, elevates, leaves that one short. C.J. Roberts tips it. Ethier collects the rebound. Here's Roberts going inside out on Dehaney. Ethier in front of his own bench, down low. Meisner working on Peck. Step through, left hand, too strong. Gets it back, blocked at the top by Loke. Quinton Ethier, too much time and space. Back iron Dehaney settles things down.
And this is what happens when all blue shirts crash down to the basket, but they get a lucky break with 2 and change to go.
Around the top side screen, Loke moved earlier before Dehaney was around that screen. Sid, I know that that's something you hate.
I am a big proponent on, if you are going to set a screen, it is not just on your teammate coming to set the screen. It's also on the point guard, whoever's dribbling, to make it effective. You have to create an angle so that when you go direct, you have to be rubbing shoulders with the person who's setting the screen. There should be no room to sneak around it.
And that's where the defense could cheat.
Exactly.
Baker has it, picked up by Peck. Down low, intended for Quinton Ethier, out of the reach. And again, Colton Crowdis defending Quinton Ethier quite well in the opening minutes as we get a timeout on the floor. It's time for me to tell you that the Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit basketball.on.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected. Stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers. 10-8, Ridley in the lead. The winner to take on Hoden Prep. What a story they've been all season long. They finished one game above 500 in regular season play, go in to William Academy's Gymnasium in Cobourg, Ontario, beat them for the chance at a semifinal against the reigning champs, dismantle them, and now have a spot in tomorrow's final, 83-67, just an absolute drumming against the Lions about an hour ago.
And they had open opportunities, Hoden Prep, and it was led by Noah Kaja, who helped lead the way. But Dante Susuri Hercules, more than a 20-piece for him. And they were able to capitalize on Royal Crown's inability to score right inside and force them to shoot unnecessary shots, too. One spot remaining at the championship.
The women's side sees two undefeated teams go head-to-head. Capital Courts from Ottawa taking on Crestwood. Can Crestwood get another team in a final? Agbelize turns around. That doesn't go. Knocked out by Crowdis. Shibola working on. Baker into the lane, changes pace. Quinton Ethier with the rebound ahead to his younger brother Carter. He's got a lane. Check goes by. Uraz stays with him and blocks it out of bounds.
And I know for a lot of high schoolers, when you get blocked, it's not a good feeling, but you have to give credit to Carter because he was able to stop in his tracks, get that pump fake so he could have all that crowd come into him. So he's got to recover here. 2 minutes to go.
Quinton Ethier from Carter Ethier, the kind of connection you only get when you share DNA.
Ethier, or you're still going to get that bucket.
Crowdis on the turnaround, gets the step, goes for the lob from Agbelize, but guess what? CJ Roberts says, I can jump higher.
When you're that close for Crowdis, you got to just make it a layup.
Carter Ethier steps out of bounds, and twice he's turned it over by stepping on that gray line.
That's the fourth time we have seen that from both of these teams today. They have to be careful. They have 90 feet of the floor, but all it takes is just 1 foot on the line to just kill all the momentum and tempo, especially on an open look.
3 in, 3 out for Vic Razzo. Caleb Roberts back in alongside Callum Smith and Collinson. Collinson goes for the rebound, corrals it. Griffin Collinson with the pickup. Here's Caleb Roberts, picked up by AP, Eric Peck. Sammy Uraz and Callum Smith, Team Ontario teammates this past summer, fighting for position on the low block. Callum Smith's big 6'10" frame. Class of 2026, getting the better of that wrestling match. Seven seconds on the shot clock. Jackson Baker from deep, no. Griffin Collinson's second chance opportunity floater from the mid-range is good.
There was also a good assist there from Callum Smith to be able to see and have court visibility to see Collinson.
Lana on the block, pocked from behind. Baker out and on the run. It's a 3-on-2. Charge. Sammy Uraz got to the spot. And he's done that in a couple of high important games in the OSBA, putting his body on the line, playing top tier defense.
Crying shame, first off, for Ridley. Caleb Roberts was the only one wide open. He was asking for the ball. And at first, I thought on the other end, it looked like to be a mismatch, but he used his hands to get that steal down low. And that's a huge problem when you're down low. Make sure the ball is up high and not down.
Uraz fakes a 3. Lope working on Collinson. Gives it to Crowdis. Extra pass. Ollie Wilson. Contact on the arm from Callum Smith. This is his first. Ollie Wilson headed to the University of Denver next year. The teammates on Crestwood Prep jokingly calling him Denver. Was there for senior night, and he was getting his award. And they call up Ollie Wilson. All you hear from the bench is Denver, Denver. Missing the first.
I will say, though, kudos to Crowdis for kind of, we're going to coin that Denver, for finding Denver as low down as he did. That's one of the things that Crowdis is so good at, is passing in situations where you didn't think he could get the pass off.
1 for 2 from the trip for Ollie Wilson. The big Kiwi comes from Canada to Canada by way of New Zealand. 5 seconds left. Caleb Roberts throws it up from deep. Nothing but nylon, even in the face of Chris Shabola. And at the end of the first quarter, Ridley lead 18-9. We'll step aside for a quick quarter break. We'll be back with second quarter action here from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. You're watching the OSBA High School Championships. Stick with us. Crestwood Prep held to just 9 points in the opening 10 minutes. They finished the season just plus 31 in 13 games. Looking to get a start to the second half here on the defensive side. Callum Smith on the top side for Ridley, looking for the dive from Collinson. Sammy Uraz gets the steal, and that's how you start a quarter if you're a Tyrone Bramble squad. Colton Crowdis, wide open, loses Baker, fakes the pass. CJ Roberts there to contest, but Crowdis gets it to roll through for 2.
It's a smart play, and Jackson Baker was taken out of the play, so when someone's down, you get the green light to cut right down to the 10.
Caleb Roberts, Jackson Baker in front of his bench all sorts of time. Ollie Wilson gets the rebound. And I know, Aaron, you're looking for Caleb Roberts to get more selfish and take more shots.
And I believe that, too. And Ridley has to get on the bus, too, and give him those passes so he can reset in case they're in dire situations. Tough shot to go from Shabola.
Shabola runs into Smith, but finishes through the contact. Doesn't look at the ref for the call, just continues to play on.
That's right.
Here's Caleb Roberts. Had the dump off, still has the dump off. Smith leaves it short. Another defensive rebound for Ollie Wilson. So 2 defensive rebounds for Ollie Wilson and a steal to start the second quarter for Crestwood. The steal coming from Uraz. Jackson Baker gets hit in the jaw. So Ollie Wilson called for the foul. First team foul of the second quarter.
And these kind of plays is where I think Caleb Roberts could solidify himself as a playmaker, whether it's sideline out of bounds, baseline out of bounds, or whatnot. They have to understand that the tempo and the direction of the game is going to come from the first All-Star team member.
I also think, kind of looking at the stats from the first quarter, rebounds is always a big thing for me because I always look at them as possible second chance opportunities or the start of an opportunity. And Ridley out-rebounded Crestwood 13-5 in the first quarter. So I think they need to be a bit harder on the glass, Crestwood, and both of those chances will come.
Shabola right back into the contact of Smith after Caleb Roberts threw it away to Colton Crowdis. 2 free throws upcoming from Chris Shabola, averaging 4 assists per game, 4+ assists per game. And like I said, just under 20 points on 46, 30, 74. So 74% from the line. Drains the first.
All I'm going to say about the free throws is that's not bad. I'm not going to get the broadcaster's jinx against Sid. You talked about the rebounds, a 13-5 advantage. These two teams aren't far away when it comes to boards per game. A difference of 0.5. Crestwood 43.8, Ridley 43.3.
Callum Smith going to check back out. 2 fouls to his name. Daniel Meisner checks back in from Toronto. Meisner's got a great shooting touch from the mid-range if he can get some space. He's picked up by Agbeliz, at least for the time being. Turning on the Jets, Caleb Roberts. Somebody's got to stop him in the lane. Working left, finishing right through contact. 1 free throw upcoming. Count the basket. Foul's going to go on Lana Agbeliz.
Yeah, that's smooth, though. I like those kind of layups, too, because the defenders are going to think he's going to finish it on the right side. But no, he porks his body around and finishes off on the left side with the right hand. Got the and one to make it 21-15.
Colton Crowdis absolutely gets Roberts on skates low. Downhill with the nice floater finish.
He had a poster against Ridley early on in the season. He's trying to add more to his reel for 24-25.
Oh, Manute Lowe's got a poster against everybody.
Once he gets that baseline drive, it's lights out.
Ostaprak, feet set near iron. Collinson throws it off of Uraz and out of bounds. Good heads-up play there to get another possession with 12 on the shot clock. You know, watching these teams all season long, it feels like Ridley has really shown that they are the best team play team in this league, if that makes sense. Ostaprak misses the short jumper.
I was going to say, I agree, and I think that goes from the head down. Like, when you have a coach like Vic Razzo who expects excellence, coaching the professional level, coming down and coaching Ridley, I think you naturally just get a little bit of an advantage because he expects the high level of basketball that he's used to seeing, and I think that's the reason why Ridley is just so composed as a unit.
Yeah, Razzo stays composed on the sideline. That translates onto the court. Missed shot by Quinton Ethier is grabbed by Loke. Agbeliz, 1 step into the paint, off glass and through. Good defense there by Quinton Ethier, better offense by Agbeliz. Here's Collinson, picked up by Shabola. There's a lane, Collinson takes it, hands in the passing lane, Loke at length, disrupting that pass. Collinson, even though Agbeliz was in his face, he drains it, helped up by CJ Roberts, gets back in the play, comes to the near side to pick up Shabola. It's a 5-point lead for Ridley. Shabola turns the corner, over Meisner, doesn't get it to go. Ostaprak with the rebound. Over top. No one's here but Collinson. Into Uraz. Uraz moves with him, and then Ostaprak comes in and hits Colton Crowdis on the head. So Ostaprak has his 3rd foul. And that's going to bring in CJ Roberts.
Just checking back into the game, CJ Roberts, but I want to say him going over and helping Collinson up, it's really easy when you're on the floor after making a 3 to be like, oh my God, where's my foul? But he wouldn't allow him to even take his head out of the game for 2 seconds. He was like, no, get up, get back in the play, continue to maintain it.
Beautiful play there between Sammy Uraz and Colton Crowdis on the pick on the high side. Then Uraz gets the step on CJ Roberts. The no-look dish from Colton Crowdis leads him to the free throw line off the foul.
And I think I compared his game a lot to like LaMelo Ball, where it's kind of the sneaky one-handed no-look passes at such a fast pace that Crowdis is able to make. I just wish, because he is a good three-point shooter, he's a good mid-range shooter, but the problem is he's so selfless, he looks to pass before he looks to shoot.
Eric Peck bobbles it out of bounds after the missed free throw. Caleb Roberts gives it away. Uraz has it. Loke traipsing down the middle. Tough to stop. Elevates. Gets the soft touch. 2 for 2. It looked like Caleb Roberts was just moving much faster than what his dribbling skills were allowing him there. Collinson. No one's going to come to you. Keep it. That's a travel.
I knew what he was trying to do, though. He had Loke in the air. He was going to fake it, and then he just got too excited because he knew he had him. He just got a little bit too excited.
Got caught in the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, rightfully so. It was a beautiful attempt.
Crestwood have worked their way back into this game in the second quarter. It's a 2-point lead for Ridley. Shabola over the timeline. Uses the screen from Loke. Loke didn't expect the pass, but he somehow corrals it. Makes the move on Meisner. And Manute Loke's heading to the free throw line. Meisner picks up the foul.
And that's knowledge now for Loke. When you're up top and you set a screen, your responsibility then turn around and just dart right down to the basket. And the way Locke has been playing lately, he could be a good PAR down the stretch.
Well, Loke doesn't necessarily space the floor. If you look at his shooting this season, he's 1 of 31 from deep, 3% from beyond the arc. So if you see him out there with the rock, you're going to let him stay out there. Most effective in the pick and roll, like you said, Aaron. So looking to see some of that here to close out the half. Baker working on your rest. Meisner hands it off to C.J. Roberts, picked up by Colton Crowdis. Roberts tries to clear out into the paint. Tough take, tough make, count the basket and the foul.
He was waiting for the perfect moment to get that ISO game, and he did just that.
The second foul on Crowdis, and Miles Dehaney's going to check back in.
And the reason why C.J. Roberts was able to go in was because Crestwood's defense was static. They thought they were good enough in the position where they don't even need to move or apply pressure. They thought that C.J. would end up with a turnover by dribbling too much. Foul down low.
Chris Shabola has just been getting all game long. The most recent one coming from C.J. Roberts. He picks up his first personal. Team's 5th, so we are shooting free throws for the remaining 5:11 of the opening half. And if you're Coach Vic Razzo, you can't like that.
That's really early, too. I mean, 5 minutes is a long time.
While we have a break in the action, Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit basketball.on.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected. Stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers. There was a correction on the floor. It was just Ridley's 4th team foul.
But nonetheless, they're still going to be in foul trouble halfway into the second.
The next one puts Crestwood in the bonus. Shabola goes downhill. Doesn't get the soft touch to go. C.J. Roberts with the rebound. Traipsing up the left-hand side is Baker. Gives it up to Collinson. Collinson, far side. Quinton Ethier again out of bounds. Foot awareness needs to be essential. In a game like this where you feel like every single mistake starts adding on top of each other, you've got to take care of the basketball.
And you have to think of it too. 5 total turnovers have come from either baseline or sideline out of bounds. Ridley responsible for 3 of those 5.
Flare screen for Shabola. Gets him a lane. Stolen by Roberts. Shabola gets it back. Baker meets Shabola at the top, and that's going to be the 15th foul on Ridley. Was in the act of shooting anyhow. Chris Shabola to the line.
Give credit to Jackson Baker to pick up when C.J. Roberts was taken out of the play on the other side, but used too much of his muscle, too much of his hand to go up for the block. And we said this in the last game too, said all you got to do is just go straight up with it. You know, no need to go for an emphatic block.
You make your defensive work completely useless the second you drop your hands. Like, don't make yourself have to work harder for no reason.
And think about it too. If he would have gone straight up with that block, now he's got an angle to go after it and start the transition.
Jackson Baker heads to the bench. Caleb Roberts back into the game for the Tigers. Collinson hands it off to Ethier. Ethier putting the moves on Loke. Gets the lane. Kicks it. There's CJ Roberts. Up and under. That's a thing of beauty. CJ Roberts will see you on the TSN Top 10 Countdown.
All English, and again, he's still darting down to the basket and is able to maneuver his body around to make it a 4-point game.
Shibola kicks it. That just out of the reach of Roberts. Eric Peck from the parking lot.
Continues to peck away at this lead, the slimmest of all possible leads, and that's one.
Nice crossover there. Collinson, hesitation over Lope.
And that's what you expect from the senior now, able to compose himself in the mid-range and just kiss it off the glass. Good night.
Shibola leaves that one short. Second chance opportunity. Chris Shibola's absolutely balling.
Is it high school basketball or NASCAR? These guys are going real fast here with 3:23.
It's a 1-point game. CJ Roberts, his older brother Caleb in the corner, going to kick it out. Ethier. Collinson. Fouled by Loke on the contest, and we were talking about this in the last game. If you've got length and size, Manuk Loke measuring a whole, what do we got here, 6'9". When you're closing out, your size running out with your hands up should be enough to get into the vision of the shooter, should it not?
I also think what people seem to forget, because it is, right? Like when you close out, it's just you're trying to impede their view. I think people are getting so committed on, I have to get the block, I have to swat the ball, and you don't have to. Get there, impede their view, and make it a little bit more difficult. But the problem with that on that one is Loke was like, I thought I was there. You were there. The problem is you have to let them land. You can't completely block Collinson to the point of he can't land effectively, and that's where the foul is going to be called. So minor tweak, that's all he has to do.
It's also knowing who you're closing out on. Griffin Collinson, 86% from the free throw line, and you're giving him 3 free looks. He drains all 3 of them.
10 points on the night for him so far.
Miles Dehaney over the timeline, ranked 15th on Canada's class of 2027 list, steps into a 3, doesn't get the bounce, and Meisner is going to get called for the hold on Loke underneath the basket. So Manuk Loke at the free throw line now. 71% free throw shooter on the season. Does the majority of his damage out in transition. 67% scorer when on the run. And it's those long strides, awful hard to slow him down and get in front of him. 1 for 2 as Carter Ethier collects the rebound. Quentin Ethier will be evacuating Griffin Collinson.
A rare misplay from Ridley. Carter Ethier was a little too down deep, and I guess they were expecting a good pass right at the 3-point line to take it, but no.
It appears as though Griffin Collinson had to dive into the lane, and Carter Ethier was supposed to come to the wing as Quentin Ethier takes a shot. Wide open, Eric Peck from the corner. No, Ethier with the rebound. Working on Dehaney, trapped by 2. Uraz can't get it to go. Over the timeline in just the nick of time. Caleb Roberts turns the corner on Shibola. Up and under, acrobatic finish for Caleb Roberts.
Come on, again, using his body to spin around right in midair and still getting the circus shot to go. Phenomenal.
Good heads up play by Dehaney to keep it Crestwood possession after the timeout here.
Miscommunication, no timeout. Scratch that, there is a timeout called by Tyrone Bramble of Crestwood. Caleb Roberts up to 11 points now for Ridley. Griffin Collinson has 10. For Crestwood, Shibola just 7. Feels like he's had at least double digits by now, but no. 7 from Loke, 7 from Shibola, and 5 from Agbeliz for Crestwood.
The one thing I'm going to be concerned about the rest of the way is rebounding, the presence down low. Who will be able to box out efficiently and get the rebounds, because I could tell you there were a couple of times where I thought Crestwood would get the second chance opportunities. And for Ridley, there's nobody there to commit to get the rebound and take a look, because we're seeing a smattering of players with either 1 or 2 or 3 rebounds. Down this course of the game, if second chance opportunities really worked out in A team's favor, one player should have like 4 or 5 right now. But right now, we're seeing Ridley College Smith only with 4 rebounds, and down for Crestwood, Miles Dehaney with 1. 1 rebound. You got to be effective down low.
It's just not going to cut it, like you said, Aaron. I mean, you need to be more of an asset to your team, and just 1 rebound isn't going to do.
Dehaney with the fake from the elbow. Pure Miles Dehaney. And that is over Griffin McDonald, who checks in for Ridley College, number 21 in white. Uh-oh. And Miles Dehaney pulls up. Caleb Roberts can't finish the play. It's a non-contact injury. And you can hear him. He's on the floor. And we are going to step aside for a quick break while we tend to Miles Dehaney.
Ball was loose at the time of stoppage. Ball with the possession error, so the Crestwood basketball.
Miles Dehaney helped to the trainer's bench. We wish him a speedy recovery. He will likely be out for the rest of the game. But we carry on. Here's Crestwood into the front court. Peck takes the 3, gets around Austin Frack. Carter Ethier takes the charge, putting himself in harm's way. Wonder where he learned that from.
Definitely not from the football field, but my goodness, what a way to set yourself up and take all of that. We saw that in the last game too. Most of the guards going down low, and when you're mismanned or outmanned rather, you got to take the charge for the team.
Caleb Roberts dancing with it. Beyond the 3-point line. Finds a lane. Nice back cut. The brotherly connection. count the basket. Goaltending, Lana Agbeliz.
People keep on forgetting that C.J. Roberts, can get up there. We saw that on that breakaway jam coming from the right elbow in the quarterfinals. You give him that lane, it could be all over
He
for you.
also had a block in that game where I'm pretty sure his head was at or above the rim.
Oh, I think it was above. For sure it was above.
There it is right there. Agbeliz, count the basket. Lana Agbeliz, and one opportunity.
Crying shame for Ridley because, again, C.J. Roberts got up there again. You got to test his vertical, but man alive, Agbeliz just getting up there. And Crestwood still in the game. It's one possession.
With as one-sided as it's feeling in favor of Ridley, Crestwood just continues to just remain consistent and be there.
It's because of the depth that they have.
A minute 9 left in the opening half. It's a 3-point lead for Ridley, who's led the entire way. Collinson comes back to accept the pass. Gives it right back to C.J. Roberts. Roberts changes gears into the front court. Keeps the dribble alive. Wants the screen from Carter Ethier. No, sends him away. Reaching in, Colton Crowdis called for the foul. He will send C.J. Roberts to the line.
Crowdis needs to stop reaching, because at that point, there's nothing you can do, especially when Roberts' back is to you. Even if you are able to slightly make contact, it's still a reach. You're still reaching over the back.
It's close to a bear hug in wrestling.
Exactly.
You're going to be called that.
Exactly.
Roberts misses the first. Quite badly. The second leaves it short as well. Carter Ethier called for the foul, so no time off the clock, and Crestwood head to the free throw line. Eric Peck steps up. Great defender. Averaging 4 steals a game. Another lob threat for Chris Shibola. Peck makes good on them both. We're knotted at 37. Caleb Roberts with a burst of speed, turns around in the lane, elevates left-handed finish. Another highlight reel play for Caleb Roberts.
Through a T-shaped defense. Again, Caleb Roberts is like a shapeshifter. He could just torque his body anywhere he could go and get those tough buckets to go.
Sure, he wouldn't like it if he called him square, though.
No.
Uraz in the corner. That rims out into the hands of Quinton Ethier. He promptly gives it to C.J. Roberts, who's got his head up the whole way. Waits for Caleb to cross the timeline, then dishes it to him. 2-second difference, shot clock, game clock.
Looks like an ISO game for Caleb Roberts.
Uses the stream, gets the second level defense. Collinson left alone in the corner. Near iron, Agbeliz fighting for it. Big Ben Van Bulk gives it up. Uraz steps into a 3. That's off the iron, and at the end of 20 minutes, it's a 2-point lead for the Ridley Tigers. We'll step aside for halftime and be back with more second half action from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. It's the second of the men's semifinal winner to take on Houghton Prep. Stay with us. Welcome back inside the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. JJ Evison, Sydney Holmes, Aaron Sanders along with you for the remaining 20 minutes of regulation between Ridley College and Crestwood Prep. Ridley up by 2, doing a great job of keeping Crestwood out of transition, because in transition, Crestwood score at a 58% clip. Meanwhile, Ridley a little bit lower than their season average in terms of scoring. They're at 39 points right now through 20 minutes. Some adjustments here in the second half, Aaron.
Well, first off, Ridley, they have to control the tempo no matter what. We've seen a lot of loose ball opportunities and some players not getting on the assignment, getting to their places. They want to play hero ball, but that's not the case. You have 20 more minutes of action to cool it down and set the role and set the scene. For Crestwood, I expect to see more rebounding from them instead of picking it out of steals or anything. And I expect the big men of Appleese and Manute look to get involved too, not only in scoring, because rebounding is important to set yourself up on the offensive end.
Ridley get the ball to start the second half. All the way in the backcourt, Caleb Roberts, picked up by Shabola. Good defensive switch there between Appleese and Shabola. Smith working on Big Ben Bolt. Gets the lane, gets the floater. Little baby hook there from Callum Smith to open up scoring. He opened up the scoring in the first quarter. Does it here in the third as well.
Big Ben tried to chime in, but Smith delivered the damage to start things off.
Colton Crowdis threw some contact. No good. Griffin Collinson out and on the run. Here's Ridley in transition. Extra pass to the corner. No, it's not there. Caleb Smith. Caleb Roberts checked that. Didn't see Quinton Ethier to his right. Now he's picked up by Crowdis. Griffin Collinson down low. Let's get it back to the big man. Spin move. No. Low goes for the steal. Shot's got to be up. Quinton Ethier. That's knocked off the fingertips of Lana Appleese. Shabola. Poking, prodding, pulls it back out. Wants a screen from Van Bulk. Pick and pop. There it is. Flush. So big men scoring early here in the third quarter. Still a 2-point game.
Well, when you move the ball around the paint, that's what you have to do. Send it to the big man and hope that they can finish the job. Oh, nice fake.
Backing down, textbook footwork from Callum Smith. There's going to be a foul up top. And he got everybody in the gym with that fake pass to Caleb Roberts, didn't he?
Not me. I always love when I'm faking and I'm like, wait, I'm not even playing. And I'm like ready to go.
Smith, originally from Ottawa, Ontario. I was talking to Coach Vic Razzo earlier this week, I guess, in St. Catharines, and he said he's really grown into his body. He's slowed down the game a little bit this year, and that's a big reason why he's benefited from, all the teachings that Vic Razzo has in terms of big men.
While averaging nearly 11 points and 5 boards a game.
Loke downhill, contact there, forcing him into help, and Jameer Ostafrak gets his 4th personal. So here comes C.J. Roberts a little earlier than we typically see him enter the game.
The problem is, and what's so frustrating for head coach Razzo is, Ostafrak has been told multiple times, don't allow the person you're guarding to beat you to the spot. So like, he had the lower position. All he had to do was take his left foot, cross in front of him, and force him to the corner. Not to say that it's easy to kind of lock down Loke. It's not by any means, but...
You want to give it a go?
I'm not personally, but that's also the second time that he's allowed him to just take his space, and he can't do that.
Smith into the front court, has a trade from C.J. Roberts, takes off from the free throw line and lays it in over Appleese.
And that's what he does. Even though Ostafrak is out of the game, you bring C.J. Roberts in, you're going to have somebody that could dart to the other end of the floor quick and have great ball movement and great speed.
Shabola almost stripped from behind from Caleb Roberts. Appleese has 7 on the shot clock. Working on Quinton Ethier, spins into the lane, keeps it, goes it up, gets it for 2. Press easily broken here from Ridley. Quinton Ethier on the block. Kicks it back out. Chibola comes away with the steal, steps out of bounds. That's tough.
Well, Chibola was caught in a tough situation anyway. He had his back turned at the basket trying to go for the steal, but he had little to no space in the sideline. Because normally when you go for that steal, you're thinking, okay, fast break, dart, make 2 steps down. He did not have a lot of space to work with.
Smith with the handoff to Caleb Roberts, shoots it from 3. That's off the iron. Agbeliz tips it to himself. Crowdis traipsing up the right-hand side, wants to clear out, uses the screen from Van Bulk, then gives it up. Now on the strong side, Chibola kicks it out. Crowdis, flurry of moves, step back 3. You betcha. Colton Crowdis can do that.
Taking advantage of the mismatch from C.J. Roberts, too. He already had the height. All he had to do is just pull up, and he did just that.
Crowdis going in for the steal, called for the foul, as C.J. Roberts had the right position. He comes away with the ball, but he's called for the foul. And that's Crowdis's 4th personal. So Crowdis with 4, Osterprack with 4. Each team with 2 here in the 3rd quarter. It's Griffin Collinson to trigger on the side out. Uh-oh, Ethier's alone. Off the near iron, Loaf with the rebound, keeps it high. He's gonna carry it over the timeline himself. Uraz into the corner. Agbeliz, it's a one-on-one with Ethier. Agbeliz won this matchup the last time. He gets the better of him again.
Agbeliz, main scorer in the 3rd quarter for Crestwood.
And Crestwood have the lead. They're up 2 for the first time in the game. Here's Ethier. Caleb Roberts around the screen from Smith. Backside, C.J. Roberts. Pull up Jimmy, front iron into the hands of Uraz. Quickly to Chibola. He's going to slow it down. Look at a half-court set in the half-court. 80% of Crestwood's offense comes in the half-court, and they're successful 40% of the time. That one knocked loose. Quentin Ethier out and on the run. Here's Collinson with 1 to beat. Into the body of Agbeliz. No. Van Bulk has that rebound secured. Here's Chibola around the screen from Loke. Loke dials it from deep. That one not gonna fall. Remember, Loke shooting just 3% from beyond the arc on the year. Wise decision to let him take that one. Collinson, on the other hand, not so much. He makes 40% of his shots from beyond the arc. And that one, an absolute dagger.
And making them pay, too. He could score in bunches and a total of 52% from the field.
Here's Chibola. Van Bulk. Give and go. Chibola just needs a sliver of space. Changes the pace. Off the glass and through. Count the bucket and the foul.
He's all Agbeliz giving the motion. Yes, that's going to count. Crestwood doing an exceptional job looking for a wide open range. And they're taking advantage of it.
Foul's going to go on Caleb Roberts. Chibola can't complete the 3-point play. Pair of lead changes here. Midway through the 3rd. Roberts kicks it. Ethier with it. Missed it. Tapped right to Roberts, who had that one knocked loose, and Van Bulk secures the loose chain. Chibola, shifty move. Has Uraz. Uraz fakes, but he traveled. I mean, you're in a tough position when you're a catch-and-shoot shooter. You've got to go right up with it, because that fake makes you slide your feet, and then you turn the ball over. You're riding some momentum here if you're Crestwood, and that really takes the wind out of the sails.
And Uraz has been having a tough evening for him. Either he's going to be pinned with fouls or turnovers. He has to turn that around with more than 14 minutes left in the game. He has plenty of time left to flip it up a bit.
Callum Smith with the jam. Good entry pass from Caleb Roberts.
And this is what I meant when I said setting the tempo. When you find a pass, you just go for it fast, and you find Callum Smith down low with a powerful jam.
Chibola been absolutely clinical in the paint. That one he can't get the fall, but back to the free throw line. Contact on the arm. And Callum Smith will take his 3rd personal foul.
And for the Tigers case, it's better to send them to the line instead of giving up an easy 2. But at the same time, they have to be careful too with a couple of players in foul situation. Even though it's their second team foul, with 14 minutes to go, players are going to get in the act of, if my man is in there, I'm going to do what I can to either play the hero and try to shut it down or let someone else take care of business. Ridley has to be careful when it comes to inside defense.
Shibola gives his team the lead back, 51-50, Crestwood ahead. Jackson Baker into the game now. Class of 2027 guard. Tries to put the moves on Lana Agbeliz. Collinson, top side. Finds a lane. Clutches that like a running back and gets it off the glass for 2.
And he went up the gut on that play to get the banker.
15 points on the night for Collinson.
Shibola into the corner. Agbeliz, there's no one there. Lope with the rebound, goes up strong, through contact and gets 2 points. Meanwhile, Vic Razzo thinks there's a screen and a hole from Ollie Wilson, which allowed nobody to get out to that perimeter 3 there. Here's Ethier on the wing, poking, nothing there. Caleb Roberts working on Shibola, pulls up from the elbow, no good. Coming in from the outside to get a hand on that was Jackson Baker, but Eric Peck picks up the loose ball. Settling things down now. Shibola over the timeline. Pick and roll with Lope. Lope's got position on Baker. Spinning around baseline off the glass. No. Tipped to Caleb Roberts from Quinton Ethier. Quinton gets by the first defense. Roberts alone. Lets one blow by. Steps into a 3. No. Ethier fighting for the rebound. Tie up. Possession arrow favoring Crestwood.
We're seeing a lot more of a comfortability coming from both teams. I think in the first half, it was fair to say that, and Aaron, you kind of mentioned it, it was so fast-paced. Both teams were just really testing out the other. My firm belief, when you're pushing the pace, you're really just trying to catch the other team out of position. When you then realize that you can't do that because both teams arguably have key players in foul trouble, take your time. Don't push for a possession that isn't there. Allow yourself to get better opportunities. And I'm seeing that from both Crestwood and Ridley at the moment.
Stripped by Caleb Roberts. Agbeliz was under the basket. And a nice display of handles here from Caleb Roberts as he moves downhill, kicks it, but Loke is right there to intercept the pass. Loke loses the dribble, gets it right back. Fouled, and that's a good foul by Carter Ethier as there was 3 jerseys clear in front of everybody in the front court. Loke gave it up, got it back, and then the foul. That's a good one right there.
I think he had to get that one.
Agbeliz on the block, picked up by Caleb Roberts, stripped again. Griffin Collinson has one to beat. It's Shibola, gets the step on the left, through contact, count the bucket, and the foul. Griffin Collinson to the free throw line for 2. Scratch that 1. And Chris Shibola gets his first foul of the game. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
And we're going to see Semi Orez check back in. Now, I'm going to be interested to see how he's able to compose himself with 2 and 3 to go in the 3rd quarter. He's had a rough night, but this could be the time for him to step up and realize I got plenty of time, but I have to be careful and play for the team.
Started the 3rd quarter the right way with a steal on the defensive end. Has Ridley back in front by 2 now. Shibola with the handoff to Peck. Uraz top side, right back on the flare screen, moving screen. Ollie Wilson.
Again, you got to get there and be set. That's the problem too. When you look to use a screen too early before the person setting it is set, you're not giving them a good opportunity.
Meisner, bounce pass, Carter Ethier, doesn't accept that clean. They're going to kick it back out. Caleb Roberts downhill, fading away over Shibola. No, Eric Peck with the rebound. Ebola working the two-man game with Wilson. Bounce pass. Agbeliz throws it down baseline. No one there to contest.
And again, Ridley caught frozen. 2 men right around on the baseline and no response.
Nice dribble through, nice find. Collinson fading away baseline, soft touch. No, Agbeliz with the rebound. A minute left to play in the third quarter. 55-55. Ridley, Crestwood, what a semifinal. Another offensive foul away from the ball called on Ollie Wilson.
And it's not like Crestwood's not getting opportunities to lead the game again. They're tied at 55. Just think of it. They have to, again, I keep on stressing this, they have to stay composed. They got to understand where their players are at and try not to bully their way to the basket.
Meisner for 3. No. Carter Ethier fighting for it. Last touch by Ridley. Crestwood fall. Crestwood with a 2-for-1 opportunity. Screen's got to come up. Van Baltkeer gets Shibola a lane, spinning, fading, bucket. Chris Shibola.
And here's the thing, Caleb Roberts on the other end, we're getting those shots off, but Shibola making it look easy for Crestwood as they bounce back up by 2.
Uraz with his second steal of the quarter, and now Crestwood up 2 with a chance to add to their lead heading into the fourth.
Have a final shot opportunity here to end the quarter for Crestwood. Let's see what they can come up with.
Over top, Eric Peck back lob. And the contact on Jackson Baker. He took his eye off his defender.
He got a little kip up there a la Shawn Michaels.
Oh my God.
Way to go, Eric Peck.
The second, Baker turned his head. Peck cut baseline. Seen beautifully by Shibola.
That's one of those moves that I've always wanted to try and always wanted to do. I've just never been able to pull it off. I don't know how Peck did that with just such fluidity. I don't understand it.
Crazy athlete.
Yeah, that's so. Either that or he probably just does a lot of like stretching or yoga or something, because I don't know.
6'5". Lanky, long, thin.
I want to say on the last play too, Sammy Orez, he was the catalyst behind that play as they brought the ball back up to the court. He was able to take himself to the corner and let the play ride out. That's composure.
Ahead to Collinson, not going to get there in time. After 3 quarters played here from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center, Crestwood ahead 2 points over Ridley. Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit basketball.on.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected, stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers. 10 more minutes at a minimum on the clock here from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. Again, thanks for tuning in on OSBA TV's YouTube page. JJ Everson, Sydney Holmes, Aaron Sanders with you for this absolutely incredible weekend of OSBA High School Championship basketball. The winner of this contest will take on Houghton Prep tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. The women's OSBA final is set as well. Crestwood Prep undefeated, taking on undefeated Capital Courts Academy. And of course, the Trillium final as well. It's going to be CTA Red taking on St. Jude's. We'll have all the action on OSBA TV, including the D-League All-Star Games, boys and girls tip-off, starting at 9 a.m. It's a quick turnaround for us.
Also, with the lovely, lovely assistance of daylight savings, it's going to actually feel,
Totally forgot about
just in
that.
case you forgot, I thought I'd remind you, it's going to actually feel like we're here at 8. But you know what? What amazing.
Because we'll be here at 8.
Be here, but you know what? It's going to feel like we're here at 7.
Do you want to sleep over?
At this point, I think we might as
Let's
well.
pull out the cots. Keep the DJ around.
But the best thing about it, you two, it won't be dark early into the evening.
Yes, that is the one saving grace.
Always giving us the silver lining there, Aaron. Fourth quarter underway. Ridley with the first chance on the offensive side. Heath here almost throws it away. Loke gonna take it in the open court off of the poor decision from Baker. Loke gets a second chance opportunity. What was Baker thinking, trying to throw it off of Loke and out of bounds when Loke was still well inside the boundary?
That's not a good way to start the fourth quarter. And keep in mind, all of those loose ball opportunities, Manute has been part of all of those plays.
Smith working on Agbolees. One dribble, turn around. Collinson was wide open underneath. Here's Quinton Ethier. Shot is up, front iron. Chase your own rebound, kids, because that's what can happen. Smith and Agbolees going at it under the basket, barking at each other down the court. Got to put your team in front of your individual emotions right now. Back away from any sort of technical foul calls.
Put it all in check.
Uraz with the step, goes through, fouls on Caleb Roberts.
Again, I'm going to keep, sorry, Sid.
No, you go.
I'm going to keep an eye on Sammy Uraz. Like I said, tough first half, but in the third quarter, he's shown some great poise and discipline. And he wasn't talking after he got hacked for the foul. He noticed 8:56 to go, trip to the championship on the line. He definitely took matters into his own hands. Even though there were a couple of players that were jawing off, he just went to the other side of the basket to get ready for the next play as he drills the first.
And Caleb Roberts went for the ill-advised steal there. I mean, Caleb Roberts on Sammy Uraz, that's a good defensive assignment. You kind of have the advantage there. Don't know if you need the steal. You're only stuck 2, plenty of time left. Uraz makes them pay and sinks both. Caleb Roberts over the timeline. Callum Smith picked up by Agbolees. CJ Roberts now. Caleb Roberts all alone. Top side 3, back iron. Tipped, picked up by CJ Roberts. Floater from the mid-range, no good. Good box out by Manute Wilkes there, preventing Callum Smith from getting that rebound. Crowdis into the front court for Crestwood. The turnaround, the double screen, the floater for Agbolees. That's no good. Loke picks it up off the backboard and throws it down viciously.
So Loke, the catalyst in the front court for Crestwood as they're up by 6.
Ethier for 3. Bottom.
There were a lot of times where Ridley would shoot some ill-advised 3, but that one was right on time.
Shabola working on Collinson. Collinson tries to stay in front of him. His first of the game. Scratch that, second of the game. Team second here in the fourth quarter.
With a lot of open space around the perimeter, JJ, I expect somebody to curl and flare out to the corner for a catch and shoot.
Just don't let anything happen under the basket if you're Ridley. Shots up from Agbolees. He finds the bottom of the net. Everybody was looking at whoever had dropped to the floor. I think it was Loke.
Yeah.
Caleb Roberts works left, tries to finish with his right. Basket interference, count it. Manute Loke calls for the basket interference.
Oh, the Crestwood has to be careful here. A little bit of composure, a little bit of decorum.
But they're not. The rest of it, that was a good call because Loke grabbed the mesh. Like, you can't do that. At any point when the ball is going, you can't grab the mesh.
Especially if it touches the cylinder. You know that's all day.
I think he's trying to say that the ball hit the rim first, but even so, if it looks like it's still on a downward motion, you can't grab the rim, or the mesh, sorry.
And the 2 points finally make it onto the board for Ridley. Not too sure what happened, but Crestwood get it out of bounds on the sideline. Colton Crowdis to trigger. They're not even going to guard him. Collinson gets his finger on it. Turnover. Here comes CJ Roberts. Oh, he just dribbles right into trouble. He's got to pull it back out. Collinson for three. Yes, he drains it right in the face of Manute Loke.
We've seen that a couple of times. Manute Loke was responsible for the turnover for Crestwood, and he got burned on the other end of the bucket.
Here he is now topside, giving it up to Colton Crowdis. Crowdis turns the corner. Chabola's wide open, moving downhill. Good help defense. Lana Aguilise leaks out on the backside. Throws it up, not even looking at it. That is a shot clock violation.
And Aguilise used too much time on the clock. He was smothered like turkey on Thanksgiving dinner. Hold the phone.
Warning, official warning giving to Tyrone Bramble. I thought he was going to get teed up just then. Officials are coming together to talk about whether or not that ball hit the rim.
Emotions are at an all-time high. They were debating the basket interference call a couple of moments ago, and now Bramble and company, they have to be careful.
So Bramble had it right. It did touch the rim. Shot clock's at 12. Baseline out of bounds for Crestwood.
I will say, to the benefit of the reference closest to us, it's hard to see if it hit the far side of the rim if you're not on that side.
Chabola into the lane. Drops his shoulder, blocking foul on CJ Roberts.
CJ Roberts with a cramp, so he'll get tended to by his teammates. But man, did he take on a lot of muscle on the basket.
Chabola finds himself back at the line, and he's been working left for the majority of this game, spinning back into the paint and getting some separation that way. That help defense has to come and step up a little bit sooner.
And that's right. Keep in mind, Chabola has been one of the catalysts for Crestwood, not only in the third quarter, but right here. He could be a playmaker when he wants to, but when you give him all those opportunities to score, it's going to be troublesome for Ridley as he knocks down both of them.
So I'm going to say that's where you kind of look at the comparison between him and Caleb Roberts. They both are shifty, they're crafty, they're able to get inside and really find angles to benefit them to get to the either 2 points or head to the line for the extra.
It's a one possession game. Collinson gives it back to Roberts, who has some separation. We thought Quinton Ethier was wide open as he turned around and threw it to him. He was not there. Turnover, Ridley.
That is beautiful court awareness, though, I have to say, from Aguilise, knowing not to touch it, pull your hands back. He knew that there was no one behind him and it was going directly out of bounds.
Aguilise has been a disturber on the defensive end for Crestwood in the last few minutes. Hopefully he can turn those into buckets.
Loke, floater. Aguilise throws it down over C.J. Roberts. C.J. Roberts just got posted.
You better call TSN and tell them we have a plethora of plays happening here. That was a throwdown.
Timeout on the floor. Ridley going to talk about how they want to play out the remaining 6 and change. Stuck 5. Could be 2 possessions. It could be 6 points, I should say, with the upcoming free throw. Lana Aguilise coming out of the woodwork and absolutely throwing one down on the head of C.J. Roberts.
But didn't I call it? He was a disturber to the defensive end, get some buckets, and there you go.
I think if that was me and if I was Roberts, I mean, getting posters, getting posters is going to happen. When you have guys in this league that can dunk, it's naturally going to happen. What I would do is I'd be mad at whoever was supposed to be my help side defense not helping me, because he completely got pinned down on that screen, wasn't able to get around in time. The second he's just standing there while Aguilise is already in the air. You can't really do much at that point.
We're seeing a lot of miscommunication from Ridley. They're crowding themselves too much down at the paint, which forces those options. And who got burned at the end of the day? Ridley. And this is the first time in quite some time, you two, that we've seen Ridley down by a couple of buckets. Because remember, Ridley, top of the OSBA West, 10-3 record. Their losses was against Royal Crown to start the season, against Odin Prep that lost by 3, and then Polaris Prep the next game by 4. So not a lot of opportunities where we see Vic Razzo and company down a proverbial hole.
I just have flashes of Anthony Edwards throwing down over Yuta Watanabe on that baseline. But you got to credit players like that who are going to go up and meet you at the rim and play hard defense. And yeah, like you said, Sid, you're going to get posterized, but I'd rather get posterized on a great defensive effort than to just get out of the way in a close game like this.
I've always thought of it like this. It's like if you are the person getting posted, either way, you're going to be remembered because you're either going to be the one dunking or the one getting dunked on. Let's hope, though, that for the rest of this game that we don't really see too many of those opportunities. So hopefully Ridley can kind of control a little bit on defense here.
Agbalese at the line. That one doesn't go. Smith above everybody to collect the rebound. Caleb Roberts picked up by Shabola. Looks right. Into the lane. Blocked at the top by Loke. And Loke's going to be called for the foul. He got the shoulder into the face of Callum Smith. That is a foul. And that will keep the ball on this side of the court. That's Crestwood's first foul of the fourth quarter. Collinson gets his defender in the air. It's Loke. Roberts, shifty, picks it out. CJ Roberts down to Smith. He's got 3 on the shot clock. The baby hook is pure.
And isn't that the same play that started the game out for Ridley? Going back to your bread and butter to get things going and to try to get the tempo back.
Loke flashes in the key. Working on Caleb. The double comes. Good defense, better offense. And Manute Loke says he's too little.
Well, Roberts took a Loke and he was too late on that.
Griffin Collinson accepts the handoff. Turns the corner on Uraz. Floater. Back iron. CJ Roberts mistimes it. It's a 3-on-2 with a fourth trailing for Blue. Shabola into Ethier. No. Agbalese can't corral it. Here's a 2-on-1 the other way. Griffin Collinson bounce past Roberts into contact off the glass and through.
And that's what happens because Uraz was the only one on the floor. Breakaway.
Loke out and on the run. No one back for Ridley, and Loke gets an easy jam.
Loke, and you will miss fast break opportunity.
The best thing is, and especially on a, oh my God, here Uraz.
Those are the types of plays that can win you games. Sammy Uraz with absolute tenacity, stealing a possession. Agbalese picked up by Smith. Shabola wants it, working on Caleb Roberts. Steps through, that's not loose. Callum Smith ahead to Collinson. Collinson has one to beat, goes up through contact off the glass and through. Back and forth, fourth quarter, 4:16 left in regulation. What more could you ask for the nightcap semifinal?
This is exactly what I expected from both of these teams. I think now we're finally seeing Crestwood become more aggressive in the mid-range. But also, too, to point out, Mangok Loke, when you're on a breakaway and you know that there's no point in you running back because they're kind of, the other team's just going to get the easy 2, it's not a bad idea. I'm not saying do it all the time, but it's not a bad idea to kind of trail back ever so slowly because you're going to get that fast break opportunity headed the other way. The other team, though, is not going to always give you that opportunity, so do it sparingly when you have the chance.
And there's a timeout on the floor, which means the Ontario Basketball Association and Rogers and Uptown Wireless are bringing you unbeatable deals on wireless plans. As a valued OBA member, you now have access to exclusive savings on Rogers services, helping you stay connected whether you're at home, on the road, or courtside. Don't miss out. Visit basketball.on.ca today to explore your exclusive offers and experience the power of connection with Rogers. Stay connected, stay in the game. Powered by OBA and Rogers. It's a 3-point lead for Crestwood over Ridley in the second of the OSBA men's semifinals here from the Toronto Pan Am Sports Center. 4 minutes and change in regulation. JJ Everson alongside Sydney Holmes and Aaron Sanders. Happy to be with you here on this Saturday night, March 8th, International Women's Day. We appreciate y'all tuning in. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with us, and we appreciate that. Another one of those free throws where there's nobody on the side hashes. Golden Crowdis misses the first.
Feels like nowadays when you see that, everyone else is just saving their energy.
The second off the iron and into the hands of C.J. Roberts, who promptly hands it to his older brother, Caleb. Quinton Ethier. C.J. had the seal. Hit Crowdis down low. Crowdis gets up, stays right with him. Caleb Roberts working on Shabola. Shifty move. Here's Collinson from 3. That rattles through. We're knotted at 74.
26 total points for Collinson on the night here.
Stolen, C.J. Roberts. When you need a play, who's there? C.J. Roberts. It's a 3-on-1. Walking into a 3, Caleb. That rattles in and out. Uraz fights for the rebound. Ahead, Shabola has one to beat. Met at the top. Gets the contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Chris Shabola. Caleb Roberts goes up straight, but gets called for contact. And this is the most animated I've seen Vic Razzo in quite some time.
And a pressure cooker situation is going to bring out everything into you. 3:14 to go. It looks like Crestwood with the momentum shifting their way, darting to the basket, knowing that if they go down there, there's going to be 1 or 2 Ridley players that's going to stop them in their tracks, but they know they'll use that as an advantage. They go to the free throw line, Ridley over the limit.
And that's exactly the position you want to be in if you're Crestwood. Anytime they drive in now, there's no more fouls to give. I mean, Crestwood's still in a position where they have 3, if need be. But right now, I think they just need to kind of keep abusing the power that Ridley is kind of giving them at this point.
50% from the line on that trip for Chris Shabola. It's a 1-point lead. Crestwood prep ahead. Collinson gets some space, working into the paint. Floater. Yes, he can kill you in the mid-range if you let him. 28 points in the game for Griffin Collinson.
And he created that shot because of the mismatch. Spin, drive, shoot, score.
He says, you're giving me a third-team All-Star nod? Here's 28 in a semifinal. And there's still time to play. Ridley up 1, Shabola. Pulls up from the free throw line. That's no good. C.J. Roberts corrals the loose ball, throws it off Shabola and out of bounds. Heads up play. That's winning basketball from C.J. Roberts. And you see Joel Friesen on the sideline, assistant coach here at Ridley, just getting his team all revved up.
Well, former players, they'll do that for you for the bench, bring all that electricity and everything. That's what Ridley needs right now. Establish the tempo. 2:30. Championship spot on the line.
The dive by Ethier, working on Uraz. Kicks it out. C.J. Roberts tries to find a lane, tucks it like a football, gets to the rack. Off the glass for 2. 3-point lead, Ridley. Tyrone Bramble wants a timeout. He's got 1 left after this one. Ridley back in front. 4th quarter, a couple of lead changes, couple of ties. What a semifinal this has been.
I will say, too, the cheering section for both Crestwood and Ridley has been pretty competitive all game. And that's exactly what you need, especially when, I mean, this isn't either team's home court, to be fair, but for Ridley, when you've traveled all the way from St. Catharines, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh, you got it, you nailed it.
that's a big distance. And to have like a solid support crowd here in the audience, it's a big boost. Because obviously, you know, it's a given that Crestwood's really going to have like that fan base, but to kind of talk about the play that we see right now, Ridley is not a team to take for granted down the stretch. And just because they were down, just because the clock is dwindling, doesn't mean that they're going to rush their chances. They're still clear, they're still concise, and they still have the ability to be effective with their shot selection. So that's not something that Crestwood can kind of take for granted. And we saw when they had an ever so slight lead, it went away in less than 2 possessions. So they need to be more mindful.
And not allow them any chances inside. All the guards are going right in there like there's no tomorrow.
Well, there might not be a tomorrow for one of these teams. Winner goes on, loser. Season ends here this Saturday evening. Crestwood with possession, 2:15 left in regulation. Shabola over the timeline, picked up. Caleb Roberts, C.J. Roberts, I beg your pardon. Colton Crowdis. Works back to his right. The step back, no. Uraz fakes. Has Agbeliz, but C.J. Roberts swallows up that pass attempt. Euro steps off the glass and blue. C.J. Roberts was made for the bright lights.
And Colton Crowdis, he played too much on that play, which forced a turnover.
Loke met by Smith. That doesn't go. Caleb Roberts with the rebound. A few bodies collide. Caleb Roberts gets slowed up. Gives it up to Smith. One bounce. Gets Loke in the air. Travel.
We got a player down, JJ. Agbeliz. And that's the last player you want to see go down. Had an effective game.
So they're going to call Callum Smith on the travel. Agbeliz is still down. He needs some help. Pointing to his left knee. So Shibola crouching down as well. Crestwood going to come together. They lost Miles Dehaney, who we don't have a report on, but has left the building. And now Lana Agbeliz is grabbing his left knee. It's a 5-point lead for Ridley. The last call, a travel on Callum Smith. Thought maybe Loke got some of the ball for the rejection. It would have been a jump ball called. Agbeliz to his feet, walking under his own power. To a round of applause from the fans here in attendance.
Very strong outing from Agbeliz tonight. 17 points, 2 boards. But we haven't seen Crestwood capitalize in the interior since that alley-oop poster-end one. And that really lit a fire on Ridley's backside since then, and they were able to charge right back into the ball game.
And I think Vic Razzo's still drawing attention to the missed foul. Caleb Roberts getting his arm grabbed in transition there, went uncalled. And then they get a turnover with a travel call. That's a tough pill to swallow, but the play goes on and you have to move forward.
Exactly.
A minute 33 left. It's a 5-point lead for Ridley. Uraz picked up by Caleb Roberts. Loke flashes in the paint. Roberts comes away with the steal, has the step, 1-2, and the nice finger roll finish. You can always count on Caleb Roberts to do the right thing. No need for a flashy jam. Just get the ball through the hoop. Shibola downhill, that's a travel. And look at the energy coming from the Tigers bench, led by head coach Vic Razzo. You don't see emotion from him often, but when you do, you know things are going well for the Tigers.
A big credit to Caleb Roberts on the defensive end. We saw that a couple of times in the first half. The only man there for the rebound at one point, but he used his hands to go for the steal. He almost did it right there.
It's a 7-0 run for the Tigers, who have a transition opportunity again. Smith, the throwdown a little too strong. Uraz gets his hand in there to prevent Smith from bringing down the house.
I think he just wanted it too bad.
Oh, everybody wanted him to have that too. We saw Ethier, as soon as he turned his head, he wanted the lob, actually. Smith was not anticipating it, but now Smith's at the line for a look at 2. As Loke steps into the block, doesn't faze Callum Smith at all.
I will say the big contributing factor, and I said at the beginning of the game, Smith needed to be a key player down low. And every single quarter, their scoring has started the same way. Callum Smith down low, getting the layup. It set the tone for Ridley.
Shibola working on C.J. Roberts. Foul's going to be called. 2 shots upcoming, and now Shibola grabs his right hamstring.
A lot of leg injuries here for Ridley.
I mean, it's been a long season. You got to think a lot of these players are pretty fatigued. You know, did they get the proper rest, the proper hydration today? In a game like this, when you're playing nearly 40 minutes the way Shibola has been, you know, all of those things matter.
There was also the 5th foul for C.J. Roberts.
That's tough. Jackson Baker back into the game for the remaining 54.2 then for Vic Razzo's Tigers. Shibola makes good on the first. Now a chance to make it a 2-possession game. Shibola in the clutch.
20 points for Chabola on the night.
It's a 3-on-2. Baker gonna keep till somebody comes to him. Chabola presses up. Baker gives it up to Caleb Roberts. Working on Manuk Loke. Whip pass, Quinton Ethier. Catch and shoot right in the pocket. Collinson too easy on the offensive rebounds. Loke goes for the steal, but Caleb Roberts makes him pay. Ice in his veins. Caleb Roberts. Timeout. Tyrone Bramble.
Roberts taking his time on the three.
I mean, Loke blew by him. He had the one dribble, made it comfortable, now has 20 points in the contest. 28 leads all scorers in the game, and that's coming from Griffin Collinson.
No surprise that the senior Collison is balling out, but it's Caleb Roberts taking the charge in the fourth quarter. And what a fourth quarter it has been. Crestwood looked like they had the advantage, but a quick timeout from Vic Razzo pretty much got the team right back into it together. They're splitting through. They're making wise passes and wiser shot choices too. They're playing as a team. They did not collapse. Instead, they came together as a unit, and they're about 31.5 seconds away, potentially, for having a date in the OSBA championship.
They've done a great job down this stretch as well, breaking the press by Crestwood, creating the odd man rush, and then making the right basketball play out of that.
And here's the thing, off of that press, it was Look that started up top, so that gives you a lot of space to deal with when one of their big men is out on the full court press.
Chabola tries to get separation from Collinson, loses the handle. Crowdis, time winding down. They got to get something off. It's a step back three from Colton Crowdis off the iron. Caleb Roberts with the rebound, and that most certainly will end this game. Ridley College, as Caleb Roberts steps into a three, and just for fun, drops three more on Crestwood in the semifinal. It ain't over till it's over, folks. And Caleb Roberts still balling out here on Saturday night. Agbalese up and under. That's no good. Collinson with the rebound, foul on Agbalese, and the Ridley College Tigers will play Houghton Prep for the OSBA Men's Championship tomorrow, with the tip coming at 6 o'clock. 1.5 seconds left in the game. They're going to run it out, and that's how things end here on Saturday night from the Toronto Pan Am Center. Closing thoughts, Sid.
I mean, I kind of have been saying it all game. Ridley just has composure in moments where it's stressful situations. They're down, they need baskets. They don't stress, they don't force unnecessary chances. They understand the skill level that they have on their team. They understand the ability and the strength that they have on their roster, and they take their time. They don't force situations when not necessary, and I think that's exactly what we saw here today.
Griffin Collison and Roberts doing an exceptional job making sure the team stayed well composed, and now they're going to have a huge matchup tomorrow night against Houghton Prep, a team that really spurred back from their semifinal matchup. So these are going to be two teams that are going to have a great date with destiny. The top two teams in the OSBA West Division, JJ.
There it is, the number 1 seed versus the number 1-2 seed for the OSBA Championship men's side. Things kick off tomorrow with the girls all-star game from the D-League, followed by the boys all-star game from the D-League. Then it's the Trillium final. St. Jude's taking on CTA Red. Women's final, Crestwood Prep, Capitol Courts, a pair of undefeated teams squaring off for the championship there. And the nightcap, Houghton Prep against Ridley College. For all of us here at OSBA TV, we thank you for tuning in. For Sydney Holmes and Aaron Sanders, I'm JJ Evison saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow.